Okay, let's check, see how things are looking. Let's do our audio checks. Audio checks, audio checks. That sounds about good. Okay. Let's go ahead and get this thing going. Okay, let me mute this. And good. Okay, cool. So, first real session. This is episode 1. Last one was episode 0. Went through, did a lot of character build, world build stuff, and this is going to be our first real game session. So this should be interesting. Full disclosure, it's also my first time actually playing the game in any real sense. So yeah, be curious to see how this actually goes. Okay, let's kick this thing off. So there's a couple things from last time. Oh, one second. There we go. Make sure this is not going too insane. Okay, so a couple things from last time that we wanted to change. We're going to do a recap. And by the way, welcome. My name's Anthony Pendleton. This is Character Therapy. We're doing a Ironsworn solo play inspired by Hellblade. In case you did not come last time, weren't able to see anything. We're going to do a quick recap of our character. We're not going to really talk about general world building. We're just going to get into it and then start playing. Okay. So let's go ahead and jump over to our character. There's a couple things we wanted to change, some little minor modifications, and then we're also going to talk about what these stats are: the Edge, Iron Heart, Shadow Wits. We didn't talk about that last time. But there's one thing I wanted to change from the vows. So we're still keeping the, we're gonna vow to find and retrieve Reese's body from the Varou. That's definitely happening. But we're also going to change this one a little bit. So instead of I vow to lead the invading Varou into a trap within the tunnels, we're going to be a little less specific. What we're going to say is we're going to vow to stop the Varou from invading Mournriver. I will prevent the Varou invaders from reaching Mournriver. Mournriver is the location. It's a protected valley that one of our bonds lives in, and he found out that his previous bonded, named, what was her name, Lucia, had been taken by the Varou, and so we need to stop them. So I'm curious to see how this works out. Okay, so let's see here. That looks good, and it's definitely going to be dangerous. And then just kicking right off the bat, we're going to travel within the tunnels to locate the invading Varou. That's what we're going to get into. Okay. Before we do that, there's one part that I did want to mention. Edge, Iron Heart, Shadow, and Wits. If we look at the rules here, I did want to recap this in case folks were interested. So general stats, these are the primary stats for the character. Edge being, your agility or quickness, range combat. Heart is how courageous you are, your willpower, your empathy, your ability to connect with people. Your Iron is how good you are in combat and your general aggressiveness. Your Shadow is how sneaky you are, and how deceptive and cunning you are. And then your Wits is your expertise, your knowledge, observation. Okay, and then if we come back over to here, you can see that we've chosen 3 for our Wits. So Lago is definitely, he uses his intelligence to try to outsmart people and creatures. And then Edge and Iron are pretty decent. And then we're not great with people. Again, if you missed from last time, Lago suffers from a form of psychosis, and so is not great with people. Also not great at being sneaky, but we're going to get into that. Okay, so let's go ahead and start doing this thing. So we're setting off from Mournriver. Okay, and then if people are curious, there's, let's see here, you can do exclamation journal if you want to be able to get access to the Google Doc to be able to follow along, see what content we haven't on there already if you're curious. Okay, so we were setting off from Mournriver, and our contact Talus had let us know that his bonded Lucy had been captured. And so we needed to find our way through the tunnels and try to stop the Varou from reaching Mournriver. We gotta find our way to them. So we're going to start off with a travel move. So we're going to travel within the tunnels to locate the invading Varou. So let's come back over to our moves, and we're going to be undertaking a journey. And we've established this as just a troublesome journey because we're going within the tunnels that are very local to us. So right off the bat, we're going to roll our wits. And since we share a bond with the community that we're coming from, we get to add +1 to our initial roll. So let's go ahead and roll our wits, and we get to add 1 to it. And let's see how we start things off. Okay, so our action score is a 9 in total, and let's actually just, we can keep that up for now. And our challenge dice are a 9 and a 2. So basically the way that the mechanics work, I'm going to explain this one time and never again, is we get to roll a d6, and then we add whatever relevant stat. So in our case, it was wits, and then plus any bonuses. Then we got a +1 because we have a bond that's coming from Mournriver in striking out. And then we also roll 2d10, and those are our challenge die. And what we're looking is to get our d6 plus whatever our stat modifiers are higher than these d10s. And in this case, if you get higher than both, like we did here, that's a strong hit, and that's really good. If you get higher than one of them, it's like a weak hit. And then if you get higher than none of them or tie them, and you have to beat it, you can't just meet it, then it's a miss, and then bad things happen. So in this case, we got a strong hit. So let's take a look to see what a strong hit does for us. So on a strong hit, we reach your A point. If it's unknown to you, we can envision it, and then we can choose one. We can make good use of our resources and mark progress, or we can move at speed. And we get to take some momentum, but suffer some supply. No, actually, we're going to make good use of our resources. So we're going to mark some progress and just continue on. So what we'll do is we're going to come over to our character, and then we come down to progress. And since this is troublesome, we get to mark 3 hash marks, and we'll explain why this is important a little bit here. So the waypoint that we reach it's a small inlet inside of the tunnels. So as we're going through, we reach one of the key passageways within the tunnel. I'm imagining Lago. It's a very dark tunnel. This is meant to be as partially as protection for our hidden village. So as we're making our way through, there's no like sconces or anything on the wall that's lighting the way. We would have our own torch out. And then we never talked about this before. So Lago is dressed for travel. So Lago would have, light armor, if any, like probably just skins and whatnot. And also his skin is he covers it very heavily with either soot, from a campfire, and then also mixed in places with some of the ground iron that he uses from his spear, and that's the primary weapon that he carries with him as well. He has an iron spear, which has a wooden haft, and then on the end it also has a pretty heavy, an iron shaft at the bottom that he uses to grind, and we'll get into that and why it's important later on. So as we're coming through, it's very dark. And up ahead, we can see that there's the very first wisps of what is it called? Spider webs, but they're not like normal spider webs. We'll get into that. They're very thick, and we have to kind of fight our way through them. Maybe take our spear and cut as we go through. Okay, so but we're making good progress. We know this is the path. Maybe we can hear some skittering off into the distance, but we need to continue on. So we're gonna continue on our journey. So we come back over to here, and then we're gonna set out and continue. We're gonna continue our journey. So we're on the next segment. So let's go ahead and roll again. And this time we don't get our plus from our bonds because we're already in the. Oh, sorry, no modifier. Okay. So particularly bad. So in this case, we have an 8. That was our total, which would normally be a pretty good roll, but then we rolled 8s on our challenge dice, and you have to be able to beat it. So in this case, we did not beat it. And since it's a doubles, it's a complication. So we have something that goes particularly bad here, and I think I know what our first complication is going to be. As we're looking down into this dark hallway, we have our torch out, and the wind is whipping through the stream that passes out of Mournriver. Is quite loud, and it's hard to hear past it, anything beyond it. But we can definitely make out the sounds of skittering off in the distance. The pathways are branching left and right, and it's becoming a little more difficult. Normally we know our way through, but in this case we're pretty sure we've taken a wrong turn. And the skittering is becoming louder. The crackles and the sounds of rocks falling, very small. Echoing through the caves. Also, the spider webs are getting thick now. In some places, maybe not as thick as our forearm, but almost as thick as probably like the shaft of our spear. And we can definitely hear something off in the distance, which is starting to creep us out a little bit. What could it be? It could be anything. It's the spiders. You went the wrong way. You went the wrong way. No, you didn't. Just keep going. No, you'll find the way. Just keep going. He's not going to find the way. He's going to let everybody down. Everybody down. Okay. So we're starting to have some problems here. So we're pretty sure the spiders are around us. We may need to take some precautions. So instead of continuing, what we're going to do is we're going to put our torch out. So we're putting our torch out, and then what we're going to do is we're going to try to stay to the wall and listen out to stop for a little bit, see if we can hear anything, and stay away from the spiders, because the spiders in these caves, if they get you, they'll drag you down into their tunnels, and that's the end of it. You're done. So we definitely need, and actually let's grab this real quick. We have not talked about in the beasts, the creatures, the spiders. These are the cave spiders. And we haven't seen them yet, but we know that they will ambush travelers in the tunnels between the protected valleys and the outside world. We've ran into them before. For sure. Okay, so we definitely have to watch out for this. So yeah, we extinguish our torch. We keep the embers burning very low, so we have just the smallest little bit of light as we continue down the passageway. And then we're going to go ahead and roll again to see if we can make it. But at this point, we're probably being tracked by one of these spiders. Okay, so let's try it again. So we're going to continue pushing on. Okay, good. Got a strong hit here. So this gets to mark another 3, and we're starting to progress pretty well. We've come back around on one of the passageways. We can see some of the markings that we've made from before, the iron markings on the wall. And at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to use one of our abilities. We're going to use our, let's see, where is it? Our ward, because we're pretty sure that one of these spiders has followed us. And what we want to do is we're going to use the ward to see if we can trap the spider here, or at least see if we can keep the spider from following us any further, because we're pretty sure a little bit further up the way we're going to be able to find the Varou pack that we're looking for. So what we're going to do is let's go ahead and attempt a ward. So what we do is we take out and we set our burning torch just along the side of the rock wall outside of the way of the water that's rushing by, so it doesn't cause any problems. And we take out from our pouch this it's almost like a geode. It's like probably like a quartz geode, some kind of strong mineral. And then what we do is we start to grind the top of our this would be like the butt of our spear, which is almost like a block of iron on the bottom. And we start to grind it out. And this is part of our ritual, part of our ward. What we're doing is we're starting to grind it, and then we take it on our hand, and we start to rub it on the ground, and we draw a wide circle, not on the ground, but actually around the the passageway itself. So we find kind of a constricted area inside the tunnel, and then we're just gonna rub the iron all the way around, and we're gonna see if we can trap this cave spider if it passes through. So we're gonna go ahead and roll our wits to see how effective this ward is. So let's come back over to here. Let's roll our wits, and we got a weak hit. Okay. Let's see what happens on a weak hit. So on a weak hit, we got to choose one of these. Let's see. The ward is likely to trap a foe within the boundary. Okay, so we know that this is a good ward. That's the one we're going to choose, and we want to trap the foe or the cave spider if it passes behind us here. But at least we know that we have this ward set up. That's important because Lago is going to use this later on. This part of our plan. We have our plan here. Okay. So what we're going to do is we've now made our ward ritual, and we're going to press on. I think we're actually going to relight our torch again because now that we have the ward up and running and we know that it's pretty strong, we want to actually lead the cave spider towards us. So we light our torch again, and then we're going to continue on through. And let's see how we do this time on our next leg of the journey. And of course, there's another complication. Oh gosh. This is just not great. Okay. So what we're going to do this time is we're going to come across, let's take a look at the move again. So on a miss, we're laid by a perilous event, and it's going to be problematic, and we're going to pay the price. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down to where we have the oracle generator, and we're going to find our pay the price. Where is it? Here it is, pay the price. Instead of just choosing something, let's go ahead and roll on this and see what we're going to get. Okay, so let's get a D100 here. What do we got? A 19. Let's see. Okay, your action has an unintended effect. Okay, so I think what happens here is that as we're passing through, we're so focused on the spider, making sure the spider is back behind us, that we're starting to dip our spear a bit. It's getting a little bit heavier. The cave passageways are getting a little bit smaller than we're used to. We had to do kind of this weird double back because we got lost a little while ago, and so now we're in a tunnel that we know we've been through, but it's been a while. This is not our normal path that we usually go through. And what happens is that we hit our spear butt on the wall, and it makes a loud ringing noise throughout all the caves, and we can hear up ahead of us that there's some light talking. We can't make out what the voice is, but it's likely the Varou. It sounds very deep and dark and ominous. They've clearly heard us. So any chance that we had to probably sneak up on them and watch them and lead them into a trap without danger is probably gone at this point. But we have to press on. We have to lead them in. So we're going to continue. We're going to press on. And at least we know that they are ahead of us. So let's go ahead and continue with our journey and see how we do. Okay, good. Strong hit. So what we're going to do here is we are actually going to take, there's one that I saw that lets us get, here we go, on a strong hit. We get a marked progress, and then we're also going to take one momentum. And we're also going to suffer one supply. So we're going to do that because we now hear them ahead, and we can clearly tell where the Varou are. And so Lago is starting to make some speed here. We are going to bump up our momentum to 3. We'll explain how this works later. But our supply is going to go down to 4. So as we're going through, we're just kind of, this is effectively eating into our supplies, whether it's just water we have to take or a quick snack, or maybe we had to cross across a small gap that we needed. There's a lot of open pits. A lot of these are old mines. Maybe there was an open pit that we needed to throw some rope across, and we had to leave some behind. Not a big deal because we've gained some momentum, which is good. Okay, and what this also does is we get a marked progress. So this takes us up to 9. And what we're going to do now is we're going to attempt the move reach your destination. So what we can do here is we're going to roll against our progress. So we're going to come over here. And since we have a total of 9 progress, then we're going to go ahead and roll it, see what we get. Okay, so it's we have our 9, and then it rolls the challenge die. So in this case, a 1 and a 6. So we have a strong hit. This is good. So we've reached a destination. We have found the Varou. So let's go ahead. So our travel goal was travel within the tunnels to locate the invading Varou. We've now done this. So we're going to delete this. It's gone because we're here. We have found it. Okay. But since we got a strong hit, we can either make another move now, not a progress move, and add a +1, or we can take 1 momentum. So what I'm going to do here, what we're going to do, what Lago's going to do, is so we definitely find them, and what we're going to do is we're going to try to get ourselves tucked away into a position, because we know back behind us that there's the spider that's probably been trapped. And let's find out if it actually has been trapped right now. So let's make the roll, and then it's not going to change what we do. We're still going to do it anyway, because we're pretty sure that this was fine. That's our ward was good. So if we come down to take a look at, where is it, if it's likely or not. Here we go. So if it's in our case, we wanted the ward to be able to trap the cave spider, lock him into place, so that we could lead these Varou into a trap. So in our case, the odds were likely that we were going to be able to trap it. So if it's a 26 or higher on a D100, let's give it a go. And 6/6. So it definitely trapped the spider, which is good. Now, Lago, we knew this was going to happen. Okay. So we found them, and what we're going to do is we're going to use our move. We're going to use this momentum that we've gained on our strong hit, and we're going to make a move right now. And the move we're going to make is we're going to try to gather information. So we're in an area, or do we want to be quiet about it? No, I think we're going to gather information. So we found the Varou, and the Varou are up ahead of us, and they know that something is here, and they're starting to make their way in. But we need to find out how many there are, what their makeup is, etc. So let's do that now. So we're going to roll plus wits, and we can add +1 to this, which is good. So we're going to try to, we're laying low. We've now extinguished our torch again as we knew we were getting closer. So let's go ahead and make our wits roll to gather some information and find out what's going on. And we do get a modifier. Okay. Let's see how we do. Okay, good. That's a strong hit. Great. So let's see what a strong hit gives us. Let's come back over to here. Okay, so on gather information, I discover something helpful and specific. And the path you must follow or action you must take to make progress is made clear. Envision what you learn and take +2 momentum. Okay, let's grab our momentum right now before we forget. So this takes us up to a +5. That's going to be helpful, I think. Okay, so and by the way, we've missed some things here. We made our journey to locate the Varou, and this allows us to make some progress towards one of our vows. So if we come down to quest moves, we have reach a milestone. When you make significant progress in your quest by overcoming an obstacle, completing a journey, solving a complex mystery, etc., we can mark some progress. Ours is a dangerous quest, so we get to mark 2 progress. This is just in finding the Varou. We had to locate them before we could have any chance to be able to do anything to them. So let's come over to here. And for our vow, prevent the Varou invaders from reaching Mournriver, we get to mark 2 here. Okay, good. So we've located them. Okay, and now we're going to learn something new, interesting, and exciting about the situation. So I think what we notice is that there's 3 of the Varou. It's a scouting party. They're coming in, and they're lightly armored, and they have no... Oh, sorry, they're lightly armed, and they're wearing no armor. And this is probably even more terrifying, because the Varou are monstrous. They're huge. They're combination beast human hybrid creatures. They take the body parts of those that they of our people from our island, and they feast upon them, but they also use them as decorations. So the one in the front is probably, is adorned with, fingers and ears, and has somehow managed to fuse them with his, it's vile and terrible. And one of them probably takes up the most of the passageway. They're huge creatures, probably 300 pounds, and just are monstrously huge. But we definitely noticed that they're lightly armed. So maybe they just have like some swords and daggers, which are still pretty beastly weapons for them, but they're not wearing any armor. And I don't think that they're necessarily expecting us, and so they're just continuing their way down. Yeah, that sounds good. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to attempt to... We want them to pass us. We want them to pass us because we want to lead them into a trap. So what we're going to do here is we're going to try to secure an advantage. What we're going to do is we want to, and this is totally not going to work very well, but we're going to try to be sneaky here. They haven't seen us yet. They know something is nearby, so they suspect something. Or they suspect someone that's in the tunnels. And we're just going to hide. We're going to hide alongside one of the tunnels so that if we need to bolt and run for it, we can do so. But we're not great at hiding, so this should be interesting. Okay. So we're going to roll. We're going to attempt to secure an advantage with stealth. Okay, so we're going to use our shadow. So let's come back over to here. Shadow is our lowest, and we don't get any modifiers. Did we get a modifier when we gathered information? Let's take a look. Nope. No, we just get some momentum. That might come in handy, though. So we have no modifier. Not great. Oh, that's bad. Okay, so yeah, that's bad. And it gets really bad since we rolled the double. Okay, let's see how bad it gets. So secured advantage on a miss. You fail, your assumption betray you, and we pay the price. I think they've seen us. The one on the front has definitely seen us. The ones behind, it calls out in some kind of it's Varou foul language and starts to come after us. And it's probably just starts running at us on all fours as it tumbles forward. And that freaks us the hell out, and we just start to run. So we're going to run back towards... Lago just runs back towards where the spider is in hopes that he can make it. Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. So as we're running back... I think what we're going to do is we're just going to slam our way through where the spider is and hope that we can... Hope that the Varou are more of a tasty treat than we are. But I think the problem that we're going to have is that we're going to have to face some danger, because as we're starting to run away, the complication is that we start tripping up on our own 2 feet because we're so terrified. It's the Varou. We've faced the Varou before, but they're not to be trifled with. And in this moment of danger and fear, we just start to lose our footing. And we don't fall down, but it's becoming perilous. So we need to face some danger here. What we're going to do is we're going to use our edge, because we're just trying to race away from this Varou that's on all fours trying to run us down and tackle us, I think. Okay, so we're going to roll our edge here.